Liz, tell me how a state like Utah is dealing with this.
Right now, we are under a stay at home directive, which is not an order, so it's not enforced by police in a lot of counties. But in Salt Lake City, they are giving citations for people, and it's a little bit more heavy handed than the state directive.
So there is an inconsistency there. Not all of Utah is under the same restrictions. It's not enforced the same way everywhere.
That's correct. And that's because some of the data that's come in that shows the numbers in other counties that have smaller populations are not as large as they are in Salt Lake City, the numbers of COVID-19
So
incidents.
is there a different perception then of how real this is, or what kind of measures need to be taken depending on what part of Utah you ask the question?
I think there is, because people who have not seen larger numbers, larger cases, they haven't seen people at the doctor's offices and hospitals in their local areas, they don't, it hasn't hit home to them yet.
What are the economic ripple effects in a place like Salt Lake?
The ripple effects are, I think, devastating. There are so many people thousands of people who have applied for unemployment. This time last year, it was minuscule compared to what it is right now. And people are just searching for ways to take care of their families during this time and maintain the lives that they had before coronavirus and everything happened.
Are any of the businesses there able to pivot? Are they able to figure out a new set of needs that they can fill?
We've seen a few stories of businesses that were able to pivot and find ways to keep their employees coming in and making a living, but it's been tough. Those stories have been few and far between.
What about education? How are the school systems doing? What are the challenges that students and, well, parents are facing?
In talking to parents, what I've seen is that people are struggling to maintain working while also teaching their children as well. And I think that there is a new understanding of what teachers go through when trying to teach their children. And I think there's going to be a greater understanding coming out of this of what our education system needs to help those students.
And where does Utah sit in its plans to try to restart?
Right now, things are supposed to open back up in May. That is the goal, but they are definitely following the guidelines of making sure that we have decreases in the number of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations for 2 weeks before that can occur.
So it'll still be informed by the public health data.
Absolutely.
In general, what's it been like? I mean, when you drive through the already wide streets of Salt Lake, are people heeding the warnings?
For the first time a couple days ago, I went outside for a walk and it was empty. And this is in an area where people love the outdoors. That's a part of the draw of living in Utah is people love to ride bikes, they love to hike, and they love to get out there, even when it's almost 100 degrees outside. So to go out there and see the streets just bare and the sidewalks just bare with, just maybe less than a handful of people walking around, it's really eerie, but it's telling that people are listening and they are taking this serious in this area.
I was supposed to be in Zion with friends this week. How significant is the impact on, say, the tourism industry, which Utah does rely on?
I think the tourism industry is taking a big hit. State parks right now, only people who reside in the counties where the state parks are allowed to go into those parks, and other people have been turned away. They're saying they're turning away hundreds of people a day because they're trying to stop the spread, and they're making sure that people are social distancing and are only traveling when they need to for work or emergencies. So tourism is definitely taking a hit because of this.
Liz Adiola from PBS Utah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.